Hi there, and welcome to the inaugural episode of the Dad's Family Movie Review channel. My name is David, and I'm a dad to 4 amazing kids. And on this channel, I will be reviewing family movies in the hopes that it might help you to decide whether or not to see it at the theater. Because let's be honest, taking a family to a movie theater isn't cheap. I personally love seeing movies on the big screen, big surround sound, audience reactions, so on and so forth. It was something that my family did together when I was growing up, and we didn't do a whole lot together. So it's something I like to do with my family as well. However, with the rising costs of ticket prices and having to buy a large buttered popcorn and snacks to keep my little kids occupied can get expensive. So the question always remains is, should you make the investment and take your family to the theater? Or maybe just wait the 1 or 2 months to wait for it to release to a streaming network? Now this channel is for the whole family, so I will not be swearing or hopefully saying anything that is, inappropriate, so that anyone of any age may watch safely. With that being said, this will be a spoiler-free review, and remember, this is just my opinion, and you can take it for what it's worth. Now, if you like the content and it was helpful for you, please hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon to receive a notification of when a new video is available, for I'll be trying to upload a video whenever a new family movie or TV show is released. Also, if there's a family movie or TV show you would like me to review, please let me know in the comments below and I'll do my best to make a video for you. I will also rate this particular movie on a scale from 1 to 10 in 5 categories. The categories being nudity, violence, profanity, cursing, alcohol, drugs, smoking, and scary scenes, with 1 representing that there is little or none of that particular content, and 10 meaning that there is a ridiculous amount of that particular content. So let's jump right into it. In this video, I will be reviewing Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. This is the 5th and supposedly last adventure for 80-year-old Harrison Ford as the whip-wielding, horse-riding, plane-jumping out of risk-taker archaeologist Indiana Jones. I'm going to assume that you've probably seen the previous 4 movies, because I'm going to spoil those a little bit with some of my comments. Now, if you're still here with me, I'm just going to say, and you might or might not agree with me on this, is that the first 2 Indiana Jones are not the most family-friendly. Let's be honest. In the first movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, the ending gets a little violent as the Nazis' face begin melting like they're at a Metallica concert once the Ark is opened, with the main bad guy's head exploding. As for the second movie, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, things are even a little darker, as there are many scenes of torture, chilled monkey brains, and let's not forget the removal of an individual's heart and watching it beat in the villain's hand. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, which gives a whole new meaning of having my heart in your hands. Anyway, the next 2 movies, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade and Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, are much less violent and have more of a family-friendly action sequence vibe. Now, where does this 5th adventure, the Dial of Destiny, fit in? Is it like the first 2 indie adventures, or more in line with the previous 2? I would say it's probably about in between. There are no really graphic deaths, mostly deaths by gunshots with a few scenes with blood shown. I think the amount of people getting killed in this one is relatively higher than the previous Indiana Jones movies, and many, in my opinion, were unnecessary. So, what did I think of this movie? I really enjoyed being in the movie theater with my kids, watching an Indiana Jones adventure just as I did with my parents long, long ago. John Williams' iconic music throughout gives you the chills. Some action scenes and small throwbacks to the previous movies were great. I mean, I think in a movie series such as this, each movie in the series should have some throwbacks to the previous installments, or else why do you need to watch those previous movies? Anyway, all the small nods to the previous movies were great, except for one. Now, I don't want to spoil it too much, but what Indy says about what happened to his son, I think it's just poor writing and was very disappointing and pretty much makes the previous movie useless. I mean, why are you setting up his son, who was also named after his father in the previous movie, which is Indiana Jones, to at some point to possibly take the reins and further the family adventure, to just retcon it and replace him with Indiana Jones's goddaughter, in this one. A goddaughter that we didn't know he had until this movie. Now, I've heard Harrison Ford say in interviews that he should be the only one to play the famous archaeologist, but come on. It's pretty selfish, I think, to not want anyone else to pick up where you left off for future generations to enjoy. In my experience as a voice actor, I've come to acknowledge that whatever character or project my voice is used for can and probably will be replaced by someone else at some point. As an actor, I'm just fine with that. I don't own that character or role. I just get the privilege of playing the part for as long as they'll have me. And if they decide to go with someone else further down the road, then I wish them the best of luck. Now, my next opinion might ruffle some feathers, but it's my channel and I feel it needs to be said. I'm totally fine with having a female lead a movie franchise. What my problem is when a current franchise already has a male-led main character and you try to force a female to take his place. Disney is doing this a lot lately, and it always falls flat. I'm not a fan of a movie when a studio is trying to push its woke agenda on us, the viewer. There is already a female archaeologist adventurer franchise called Tomb Raider. Why not focus a good writing story and a good adventure on that, and I'll gladly go see it. There's no place for it in the Indiana Jones franchise. Plus, her character as his goddaughter was awful. Her moral compass, wit, and charm were nowhere near that of Indy's. So why? Again, it just felt forced and really degraded the movie for me. Every good cinematic moment in this particular movie had mostly to do with the music and not the story. When the movie was finished and Harrison Ford's journey as an iconic Indiana Jones is complete, nobody in the theater that I was at cheered or clapped. My family and I sat there for a couple minutes, just contemplating whether or not we actually liked it. I understand if you want to spend the large amount of money to take your family to see Harrison Ford's last ride as Indiana Jones in the theater. However, just don't expect the edge of your seat, can't wait to see what happens next Indiana Jones you've come to expect. This movie will let you down. However, if you take your family with the expectation of hearing the iconic music and Harrison Ford's charisma and the Indiana Jones hat and whip, then you won't be disappointed. If you don't need those things, then I would suggest staying home, saving your money, and waiting to watch it on Disney Plus in a month. Again, those are just my opinions, and take them for what it's worth. All right, time to rate it in our 5 before mentioned categories. First is nudity. I would rate this a 1 out of 10. There are some shirtless scenes of an older Indiana Jones that might make your parents or grandparents go, but that's about it. Kudos, though, to Harrison Ford for being in such good shape for his age. Next is violence. I would say probably a 4 out of 10. Like I said before, the body count is quite high in this one with multiple deaths by gunshots, but nothing too brutal or graphic, no face melting. Next is profanity or cursing. I personally think that the word hell is more of a bad place than a bad word, but just know that there are about 30 of those spread throughout the movie, so again, maybe a 2 out of 10 for this one. Next category is alcohol, drugs, and smoking. There are a few whiskey drinking times and a few smoking scenes throughout, but no scenes with drugs. Again, I would rate it a 2 out of 10, because there wasn't that many noticeable instances of those particular actions. The last category is scary scenes. I think the previous Indiana Jones movies had at least probably 1 or 2 frightening scenes in each, but I really didn't feel there were any in this one. I'd rate this probably a 1 out of 10. So overall, this dad thinks your little ones are probably safe to see this one without having any nightmares or regrettable memories. Again, it is always up to you as the parents to determine what you feel is safe for your kids to watch. I hope this video helped you in your decision whether or not to take your family to see Indiana Jones' last ride in the Dial of Destiny. And maybe, just maybe, I'll see you at the theater.